All right, get started.
How would you assess Dylan's performance?
Yeah, I thought he did a lot of positive things. Obviously, unique week to prepare for. Flores and those guys do a great job defensively of giving different looks. So there was a lot that went into it on the front end. Thought he did a nice job getting himself ready and prepared. There's always things to clean up. You know, you can be a rookie, you can be a 15-year vet. There's always going to be, plays and things to clean up. When you look at it, probably in its totality, took care of the football, did a nice job for us coming out of half, did a nice job on the second drive of the game. That 3rd and 9 play in the red zone was really a good job getting through his progression. And then, there's some things later that we want to clean up and continue to work on, but, positive feeling after his first one.
What happened on that 3rd down play on the second last drive there? It was kind of hard to tell what that was.
Which one?
The incompletion to Isaiah.
To Isaiah Bond, yep. Okay, on the right side. Just not on the same page of the timing of it. And those are, throws that we expect to time up and to connect on, but slid a little bit to our right. There was a little pressure. Ball probably came out a little bit earlier than we wanted, and just misfired and miscued with him and IB on that one. But felt like we had a chance there to convert and keep it going there to close it out, but continue to improve on that.
Tommy, how do you get more out of the receiving core than you guys have gotten so far?
Yeah, I think it's all of our jobs, right? It's a total group effort there. We got to put them in good positions to have success. We got to be on time. We got to be accurate when we have opportunities. We got to make contested plays. That's part of the NFL. But as a staff, we want to make sure that we're putting them in the right spot and giving them the best opportunities to have success based on what they do best. And whether it's use of motion or use of variations and formations, we got to be on it to make sure that we allow those guys to go out there and play their full potential.
Along those lines, when you look at the lack of explosive plays in the pass game that you guys have been unable to generate, do you think that's more a byproduct of the way teams defenses are aligning or playing you guys, or do you think it's more self-inflicted stuff that needs to be cleaned up?
Yeah, there's a lot of probably factors to that. We always try to look as internal as possible, right? Like, what can we do? What are we doing that we need to improve on? How do we make those plays? How do we get them in the right spots? How do we make sure when we have them that we're connecting them? So we're not going to look very outward on that. I mean, there's certainly schematic things that you might call a play and they're in soft shell and it's not the right look for it. That happens. But when we have the look and we're not able to capitalize on that, we're going to look inward and figure out how we improve those things.
Was it by design in London to try to keep Gabriel in the pocket as much as possible, or did the Vikings want to keep him in the pocket?
Are you talking about them defensively? Yeah, I mean, I think that's how they rush. They do a nice job of trying to condense things inside, keep wide edges to them. He stepped up on the one scramble, backed up on an early 3rd down. Probably another couple opportunities there, throughout the game to step up and go. But they did a nice job in their rush patterns. They had some twists and stunts where maybe you think you have an edge and then it's taken away. So that's pretty consistent with how teams want to rush. They want to push the inside and create edges on the outside, so to really limit the ability to get out of the pocket.
Where do you think you can expect to see growth in the second start, and then what challenges does Pittsburgh's defense present to that?
Yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh defense has been who they've been for quite a while now, and starts with their front. They have an excellent front across the board. You usually got 5 covered, so it's a lot of one-on-one matchups. Linebackers are aggressive, retooled secondary that has a lot of talent. So, certainly you might know where they line up, but that doesn't mean it's an easy task. They have really good players and do a nice job of playing hard, physical, and creating pressure on the quarterback. They do a nice job with batted balls and creating, again, the ability to push the pocket inside with who they've got. For Dylan, I think operationally we look to the biggest areas to improve. I mean, after one start, there's going to be things that he's more comfortable doing. There's going to be rhythm there that he can get on the same page with the offensive line and the rest of the skilled players. And you just look to build the continuity with the rest of the group. I think every time he steps out there with those guys, you'll see that can continue to improve, whether it's communication or physical, just connecting on things. I think that continuity will continue to improve for him.
Cam got one series there at left tackle, and then KT was the rest. Was that sort of the plan going in to kind of get his feet wet, and how much more do you expect to utilize him this week?
Yeah, hard week for Cam, right? I mean, you come here and then all of a sudden you're going to Europe. So, we felt like he did a nice job during the week. We had a plan going into the game. get his feet wet a little bit, see how it continues to go, and evaluate it from there. But, he did a nice job for us a week ago getting ready to play, and, we'll continue to build on that.
Steelers are second right now with their 10 takeaways.
Yep.
That defense, what do they do well in terms of creating those kind of splash plays?
Yeah, they affect the quarterback, right? I mean, they affect him. Doesn't mean it's a strip sack or it's a sack fumble, but they affect him in a way where they bat balls, they push the pocket, they flush him into making poor decisions. Like, they do a great job of affecting the quarterback, making the quarterback feel unsettled. And then everywhere across the ball, they attack the football when they tackle. I mean, they're looking to bring you down, but they are attacking the football as they tackle you. So ball carriers, skill players got to do a great job. Line's got to cover down to make sure we're there for them. And then, we got to do our whole group protecting the quarterback. And part of that's playing on time. Part of it's just doing a good job with the edge players and the pushing side.
As far as Shador is concerned, what have you guys seen from him? We can't watch practice anymore. So What kind of growth have you seen in him since we last saw him play? How's he coming along? And then I don't know if you can address your thoughts on how ready he might be to be the number two. I know you haven't made a decision yet, but
yeah, I'll let others address all that. I think for Shador, we're looking for constant improvement throughout the season, and he's done that. I mean, I think you see the growth and the familiarity of the offense and what we're asking of those guys. I think the level of preparation it takes week to week. When you're putting a new game plan together, that's a learning curve for all rookies. So I think he's gotten more used to that, gotten up to speed, doing a nice job in his preparation and understanding what the game plan holds. And then when he's had his opportunities to go operate it, he's done a nice job. So, again, all of our rookies, we're playing a lot of them, right? We're trying to continue on them on an upward trend and see how much they can handle and how to improve them. And, he fits in with the rest of the group that way.
Along those lines, is there any credence to, Kevin talked about players development, he even talked about thinking long hard about moving to Dillon in the starting role. Is there any credence to a rookie quarterback, maybe, or a more veteran quarterback being suited to serve in a backup role because they have that experience as opposed to you did that with Joe last week. He
right.
said, he's preparing himself to step in on a moment's notice. Is there any credence to a rookie quarterback? Maybe not.
Yeah, but I think you're limited in your reps, you know what I mean, and during a week. And when you're playing a rookie, you want to get him as many reps as you can. So I think as you look at it, guys that have experience, whether it's Joe Flacco or anyone else, it's easy for those guys having been through the ropes to understand what it looks like to prepare for a game without being able to, maximize their reps. That doesn't mean it's not possible for a rookie to do that. It's just you got to put in a lot of work and time to make sure that you're maximizing things that you might not get a chance to rep.
When you guys made the move to Gabriel, Kevin talked about how important Joe's leadership was still going to obviously be for you guys. With him now obviously out of the picture, just who or how in that room are you sort of picking up the slack of that leadership being gone and the experience that he has, and how much has Dillon sort of embraced larger leadership role as a starter? Yeah,
it's all of us, right? I mean, it's myself, it's Kevin, it's Muss, it's Deshaun in the room, it's Bailey in the room, it's Shador being there with Dillon. It's all of us in the quarterback room pulling together and making sure that we support one another. I think Dillon does have an innate ability to kind of touch the other positions. I think he did a nice job of that during the game and during the prep. He's got that confidence to him. So definitely with the other position groups, you can feel that from him, feel him kind of stepping into his own and being comfortable doing so. Look, when you're a quarterback like that, you've done that your whole life. That's just what's natural for you. It doesn't matter if you're playing Pop Warner or playing now. That's what comes easy for you. So sometimes you just need the platform for that to come out, and it feels like, Dillon's, really comfortable in his own skin and comfortable in that role.
It seemed like David played more against the Vikings and obviously had his best production of the season. Was it something about that matchup or just the progression of the season that allowed that?
Yeah, more about the matchup, more about the personnel we were in. They're a team that wants to keep bigger people, not as much nickel, not as much sub-defense. So, you're playing a little more 12 probably.
Dillon in live action in a real NFL game a couple of times. Do you feel like his mobility is something that you can now build on? You can see how it holds up against NFL competition, and as you head into Pittsburgh, can you even utilize some of that a little bit more?
Yeah, we'll see what it holds. He has that ability. How much you use it is probably by game plan, and certainly part of his strength is his ability to create and move. So we'll see how that continues to unfold.
Are you amazed at all that he's had the success without him being here at all from training camp in the preseason?
God, it sets a bad precedent, doesn't it? Yeah. No, I mean, look, Quinshon's a great player, and he's been, really – football is really important to him. And so, like, his ability to come in and hit the ground running, he was here all off season, so I think he had that part of it already built up, which is really crucial to him being able to step in. And then his natural abilities taking over, but he's allowed himself to do that. I mean, he cares so much about doing things, the way we're asking him, owning the game plan, and once he gets that part of it, his ability starts to take over.
How did you feel? I mean, we haven't had a chance to ask you, but how did you feel about all of a sudden now Joe's out of your quarterback room?
Yeah, it's the tough part about the business, I think. You build relationships with guys, and I was very fortunate to be with Joe and have that experience, and we really got along well and saw the game, I think, in a similar fashion. So I'm happy for him, like as on a personal note. But obviously that's the tough part of the business is seeing players leave. So wish him nothing but the best. He's great. So
about Jerry, and I know we ask about Jerry a lot this season, but what do you see in Jerry, and how do you see him maybe getting things turned around?
Yeah, I see a competitive guy right now, competitive fire in Jerry. He's you talk about guys that give a shit. Like, he's at the very top of the list, and he is one that loves this game, loves the preparation of it, hard on himself. We have nothing but belief and trust in Jerry to get, all this right, and we're going to keep getting him the ball and keep counting on him to be a guy that makes plays for us. But really, really supportive of the player Jerry is, the way he prepares, what he's going to mean to this football team moving forward, and know that he's going to play well for us. Thanks. Yep.
What can you say about the Steelers' special teams and what you guys are up against this weekend with them?
Yeah, they have a really good group. Danny Smith has done a nice job there for the last, I want to say, 14 years maybe he's been there. I know he coached my brother in 15, and even before then, I think. Yeah, Coach Ross in 13, 14. But, no, they got a really good group, get contributions from a lot of positions. They do a good job. They're a physical group with good size. They play aggressive. You know, they're the whole core. I mean, a lot of those guys play in all 4 units. You have Hayward. You got the 2 rookies, Bruner. You have Sawyer. Skoranek does a heck of a job. Obviously, Killebrew is a monster. So they have a lot of really good players.
On that play where Rex's foot accidentally touches the end line for the touchback, like, what's the coaching point there? Because I know he's hustling, but probably not necessary. Right?
Yeah, that was a tough one. We talk about that quite a bit, honestly, especially in our Friday meetings where we're talking about more like situational type plays and just understanding like the scenario there. It's like you get a nice play from the gunner to bat the ball back, just having the understanding and the awareness that the ball's coming back and it's not rolling toward the goal line, to be under control on the recovery and just having that instinct and awareness to not dive on the ball and really just let the ball go and down it. I know he feels bad about it. He's showing good effort, but we just need to be better aware of the situation.
Larvin and punt returns.
I thought he did a good job. I did. The one ball that we did not field, I thought that Wright made a nice play. He showed like he was going left, brought the ball back to our right. That was the one play that I know Gage would like to have back. He got a late jump on the ball. He was overplaying the offset too much and was late to get over there and, was unable to catch the ball.
In real time, that missed 51-yarder for them, was there any thought of possibly seeing it hit the camera wire, like in real time or anything?
No, I didn't see it hit a camera wire. Even on the replay, even on the coach's copy, even on that video that's surfacing, it didn't look like there was any type of hitting wire.
Just like
it really didn't, though. If you watch the video, it doesn't do that. In my opinion, I think Reichert is one of the best in the league. He just hit it a little bit inside out on the ball and missed the kick. I mean, here's the thing. To me, if it would have hit like a wire or something, I feel like he would have reacted. He didn't react at all. He looked like he missed the kick, and that's how his reaction was. And look, he's super talented, that kid. He's a really good kicker. Sorry
about that. Is there anything to the kicking ball controversy that's out there this year?
Is there a controversy? I mean, so it was voted on in the spring. All the teams approved it. And I know that this has been discussed, but like prior to this season, it's hard on the training staffs or the equipment staffs to prep the balls. You only have an hour to get the balls ready, whereas like the quarterbacks, you just bring those balls to the game and they're already doctored up and they don't have to prepare those balls before the game. So why is it any different for the kickers? So I think that because we have more time to prepare them, you're probably getting better results because the balls are better. But it puts a lot of strain on the equipment guys, honestly, to have to prepare those balls. You get 3 balls to scrub down in an hour. It's hard. A lot of times, like the first 2 balls are good and the third ball is junk. So now at least you're bringing 3 quality balls to the game.
With that being said, do you think the ability to kick longer field goals is because more of the balls or just the evolution of the quarterback or a little bit of a heart?
It's probably a combination. It's probably a combination of both. There are a lot of talented kickers in the league right now, though, I will say.
Avery's been making some plays. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, I think he factors on the perimeter. He's got the thing that he brings to our unit is speed. We needed to add that, and he's given us that on the outside. So he's definitely shown up the last couple weeks. He's been a positive light for us for sure.
You guys got 14 rookies on the roster and probably more playing for you than normal. Is there a point that too many rookies is too much, or is it just
how it goes.
It'll be nice in a couple years. It'll be nice in a few years when all those rookies develop and you have a nice core unit. But no, those guys are improving each week. I think we've seen significant improvements in all those areas with the guys that we're using on teams, and hopefully continue to do that.
Is there anything you have to tell Andre about kicking at whatever they call Pittsburgh Stadium now? It feels like it's time to time been a tough place to kick.
I know. I mean, it's Heinz Field, right? Is it Acrisure Stadium? What is that? Yeah. Look, I'm from Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh. I obviously don't like the Steelers. I love going back there to play. I'm not as relative to the kicking and all that stuff. I mean, we'll get a feel for the wind and stuff when we get there. The stadium's changed a good bit. I know that the stands on the open side have kind of closed in a little bit relative to what it used to look like. But we'll figure it out once we get there.
Having a guy like Boswell, how does that change strategy, for a team when the other team has a guy like that?
Yeah. No, he's had a great career. He really has. He had a 60-yarder against New York earlier in the season. He's been extremely accurate, especially in the last 3 years. He's over 90%. So he's been a weapon for them. He's really been automatic. So being able to have confidence in your guy to be able to hit from any distance is quite a thing to have. So he's done a great job, Chris.
Bubba, who's more famous, you or T.J. McConnell?
TJ for sure. We're at the same high school. So, yeah, same high school. So, and their snapper, Christian Kuntz, is also the same high school. TJ's hands down the most popular. Christian's probably more popular than me in Pittsburgh now too, which is fine. Both are really good guys that I know pretty good.
Announced his initiative of donating $1,000 to Cancer Institute for research and treatment for every punt he pins inside the 20. As his coach, what does it say about Corey that he's dedicating some off-field stuff, but looking at his on-field performance to do it?
I honestly did not know that. I'm glad you informed me about that. Hopefully, there's a lot of contributions made coming up. But no, he's a great guy, great person. Doesn't surprise me that he would do something like that. All right, thanks.